Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening. Thursday night. So close to Christmas, but you know what? Forget about all the stresses of what's going on with all that Christmassy stuff and focus on the stress to do with the news. There is problems filling the news. We're going to look at some of the news stories and solve some of those problems, making the world a better place. In some ways, a little Christmas miracle, not in any tangible or real way, but that's what miracles are. So we are going to be looking at some of the problems and sorting them out. Whilst we are broadcasting, you could send out the YouTube link on and any social media you're on. Let's get some more eyes in this direction. We've sat down and written at least 2 jokes today, so it'd be good if people saw them. So share the link. That would be very much appreciated. You can message in the chat on the YouTube, wherever you're watching it now. Those messages could come to us. And the Twitter things are on the screen as well, so you could get in touch there. As we plough on through the show, at some point, every so often, if you've got any value from it, if you've enjoyed it, we'll be mentioning how you could chuck a few quid in our direction to stop us starving. But as you can tell, this is not a stretched image. We're quite far away from starving. It's not like calories are the issue right now. We need money for other things. But anyway, more on that still to come. But I reckon we can crack straight into it then. Mr. Eric McElroy, what's your problem?
Well, actually, I'm going to pause the format for just 1 second before I get into my problem, Steve, because you just said a miracle was something we can't measure in any tangible kind of way.
Yeah. I
think you'll find that a number of people have said that getting the vaccine has been a miracle.
Have they?
And I say that because if you haven't seen this before, Steve is a scientist and believes in that stuff. But I believe in the miracle of science.
Sharp stabbing pain behind my eye.
It's just fun.
Right, I know that we can put this up while we're doing off-script ranty stuff. I know we for some reason, I seem to attract anti-vaxxers on various forms of social media. And every time I do the odd joke, they think I'm one of them, and then they find out I'm not, and they get very upset. So to any anti-vaxxers watching, no, it's not a miracle. It's not rushed through. It's not some miraculous thing like this is what science does. We suddenly gave it loads of extra money, so you didn't have to kill time trying to beg for money. There are reasons like that why it's been quicker. And it's Ian McKellen got the injection today. And I mentioned that for a few reasons. One is, clearly it shows no one's being forced into getting the jab, because if he didn't want that needle to go in, he could have just bent it with the power of his mind. Hey, Magneto. Hey, X-Men. He was offered the opportunity to get that vaccine, and he must have said to himself, when it comes to that chance, "You shall not pass," Gandalf.
Yep.
And he clearly, we all wish him well. It's been a rough year for him, not just because of the pandemic, and he's really old. Also, he was in the film version of Cats, and that's got to take its toll on anyone. So, yeah, somehow that proves my point.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle my little tangent set you up for that bit.
Let's be honest, 3 jokes that I did in a Larry sketch on radio earlier today. But I'm ready for anything.
You're ready for anything. It's fantastic. But are you ready for this problem, Steve?
You're ready for this?
This is a problem. Well, not how. Let me rephrase that. Where do you go once you've lost a presidential election?
I've never done that personally, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Donald Trump, obviously it's straight to hell. I know he's contesting it kind of still half-heartedly. I mean, he's not trying that hard because I still get the campaign emails, and they're no longer campaign emails to fight the election. They're now selling shirts and hats and calendars. So he's clearly shifted. But even Putin has said that he lost. I mean, we covered that already. It's a sad state of affairs. Bottom line is he's out. And what's the consequence of being out is that you have to go out of the White House. However, we have recently found out that when he's at his worst and lowest moments, and we feel really sorry for him, he's been saying he won't go and won't leave. And that was the headline today. Here, Trump is considering refusing to leave the White House on Inauguration Day. They can't take me out of here. I don't think he realizes that, yes, the president resides in the White House, but it's not in the Constitution. I mean, it's not even the original White House. You people burned it down in 1812. So, I mean, we could do that again. I'm not suggesting that. The thing is, where's he going to go? This is part of the problem, right? He can't go back to New York City because they fucking hate him there now. So that's out. But you know about Mar-a-Lago. He's got the resort down there. Well, he's thinking maybe he has changed his official residency now, actually to Florida. And the question is, could he go to Mar-a-Lago? Well, watch this.
No, at 6 o'clock, once President Donald Trump leaves the White House, it's been rumored that he will move to Mar-a-Lago. But that might not happen if some of his neighbors have their way. A letter from a lawyer representing the neighbors was delivered to the Palm Beach city officials that will tell President Trump Mar-a-Lago cannot be a permanent residence.
Ooh, gone all purpley. We just gotten COVID. That's just what happened there. That's right, Steve. Basically, he can't technically go to Mar-a-Lago for a number of different reasons. I mean, so basically, the electorate don't want him. Melania clearly doesn't want him. And now his neighbors in Mar-a-Lago don't want him. And the issue is that when he bought the place, and he wanted to do different things with it. Of course, he wanted to turn it into condos and make it really cheap. And this is a historic residence. You know, in the U.S., it's almost 100 years old, Steve. That's really old.
Wow, it's pretty historic for your nation.
Yeah. So they're like, what can he do with it? So he's made it into this, I guess, resort, but you can only stay there a limited amount of time if you're a member. He, in his agreement to turn it into the resort that it is, he agreed never to live there. That's how much people don't like Donald Trump. 20 years ago, they're like, yeah, you can have the place. You can spend your money on it, but you can't fucking live here. But now he's breaking his promise to the community by trying to move into the place. And the thing is, I mean, breaking promises, that's kind of what Donald Trump does. I mean, ask his kids, ask his wives, ask the American people, creditors, the list goes on. The thing is, he's acting like he's already living there, which is interesting because he even voted in Florida in the election, as we can see here.
And while he voted in person in Palm Beach for the November 3rd election, the Washington Post notes he was the subject of an election fraud complaint, stating he cannot list Mar-a-Lago as a legal residence because it's a private club.
Oh my God. Trump's accusations of fraud in the election were real. It just turns out he was doing the fraud.
If you want something doing, do it yourself.
You gotta do it. So the question is, Steve, I mean, we've never had this happen. What if he refuses to leave the White House come January 20th? Because it basically, this transition of power is one of the longest in the world, right? From losing the election in November to having the Electoral College sit on the 14th of December, and then finally the inauguration. I mean, it's a long time. I mean, here in the UK, you turn that shit around once you get rid of a prime minister.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird. But on the day, that's where it's supposed to happen quickly. He leaves in the morning on the 20th. New president comes in the afternoon, obviously with a huge fumigation this time around. Not just because of COVID, but just the smell and the orange stains on the walls. That's going to take ages to get out. But the thing is, what happens if he does refuse to leave? And this tweet I remembered from months ago was someone who spoke to the Secret Service. This is what they had to say here. This is Brian Karam, who is the reporter for Playboy magazine in the White House. And that's a fucking dream job right there. I don't know why I'm swearing so much. It's because it's almost Christmas. But Brian said, if you're worried, that he had just spoken to a nice Secret Service agent, and he said, don't worry. The Secret Service agent said, we know how to deal with squatters. And this guy, Brian, I've interviewed him. He does work in the actual White House. So he does speak to Social Security people. And I can see him asking that question. So it looks like there's a solution. And you think, well, how would the Secret Service do it? How would they get rid of him? And it turns out they've been preparing for it. And we actually got a clip of one of their training videos.
Oh, David, I'm at the taser armed officer. You need to put that down. You need to put it down. Okay, I tell you what, I'll put the taser down. You put the pool cue down. Get out! Get out on the floor!
Where do you find these things?
I just want to tell you, Steve, if you want to lose an afternoon, watch people getting tasered videos. It is delightful. I mean, it's almost as good as the gender reveal birthday parties in America for little kids. I mean, if you can, watch them back and forth. Watch a gender reveal party and then watch someone get tasered. Don't combine the two.
No. That'd be a surprise birthday. Surprise gender reveal.
I mean, we would love to go viral, Steve. Maybe that's what we should do.
not a bad plan.
And if I'd really taken time, I would have deep faked Trump's face on there. But that takes actual effort, and I'd already spent 5 hours watching videos of people getting tased. So
tased.
So I'm not too worried about the 20th.
Nice. Well, okay. I'd love to see it happen though. It would be better than him just sulkily walking down the ramp out of the White House.
Yeah.
I imagine it should be down a ramp just for poetic justice. But it will be amazing to watch him be evicted.
Yeah.
It's the perfect end to it. It's the way that it should end, I would say.
I mean, we have done it with the will of the people and all, but he doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
And so he might go into a sulk. But I would imagine he goes to Mar-a-Lago over Christmas and just doesn't come back. Or they won't let him come back.
Nice.
But, yeah. So
some
there we go.
messages coming in on this. Let's have a look. Apparently there was a bit of an echo, says a few people. Sal and Jason on Twitch, but apparently the echo has gone. Is it me or is Eric in echo mode? Oh, but then someone said it's gone. Echo is now gone.
There we go.
Curious.
Is it gone? Is it gone?
You're talking twice. Maybe you just were talking twice.
I did. No, I did that on purpose.
I think we've got everything turned off. What else we got? Instead of looking through travel brochures, Trump can read Dante's Inferno. That's where they're going to end up. Nice.
Mark says, a good thing you're not starving. Otherwise, Jacob Rees-Mogg would complain about UNICEF giving you food.
Yeah, good point.
Yep.
God, could we get some
to?
free food? Could we get some of that? Utah says, did you say Margate? Is it going to be another Jolly Boys outing? Better tell Del and Rodney. Yeah, I imagine that's where Mar-a-Lago is. It's a subset of Margate. Margate or Lalo.
Definitely, just around the corner. Second roundabout. Turn left.
So look, there was another. Mark says, not so much Mar-a-Lago, more Mar-a-Lago. Oh, I can't do that. Mar-a-Lago away. Not so much Mar-a-Lago, more Mar-a-Lago. Oh, it's harder. You try it.
Not so much Mar-a-Lago, more like Mar-a-Lago go away.
You did 2 goes. Not so much. This is the rest of the show now. We'll put this up. We're not going to get any money for this. Not so much Mar-a-Lago, more Mar-a-Lago away.
Nice.
That's how much it takes me to learn how to do it.
I did say it with confidence, though.
Yeah, it helped.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Doesn't matter what you say. That's what Trump does all the time. Chris is asking if I have a spare room. No. Absolutely not. I mean, unless it's Ivanka. Oh, it's Ivanka.
Not even Melania?
Nah.
I didn't realise you were suddenly picky.
I'm xenophobic.
No, because she's European.
I like how Jason has just written echo.
Yeah.
I think that was referring to the echo, which is hopefully gone. Is it gone? Are there more comments?
Jonathan says, yeah, gone on FB. I'm presuming the echo's gone, or has Trump gone on Facebook? Who knows? I love to have at least 5 topics going all at once, so we don't know what any of these messages are responding to.
But hopefully the echo is gone. I don't know if there's no easy way for me to check, is there? By if I turn on YouTube now, the sound, it'll just feedback. Yeah. So,
what have you done?
I didn't do anything.
That feels like that's not what's meant to happen.
Nope. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Probably with an echo. This is turning into one of those not the best best ones that we've ever done in terms of technical proficiency.
My camera. My camera has suddenly disconnected, so hold on.
Meanwhile, if you would like to get in touch with the show, there's no point starting the next bit yet. I need him sat there to be laughing at them. Jonathan, who said the echo's gone, and now he says so is Eric. Oh, look at that.
How's that?
Not good, but
there we go.
Wow. I love how that when your selective background thing gets rid of the background, it leaves the beer sign in.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh, there it is. The beer sign starting to come back.
The branding. Oh, there's all these Christmas ones on here. Look at that. Anyway, let's stop that. Okay.
If you're enjoying the show, and why would you admit that you're enjoying this?
I mean, it took us hours to rehearse this bit.
Brett says it's the Grunch. Probably the Grinch, but
if there's an echo.
I think we're fine for echo, and hopefully we're fine for echo, because the next one that we're talking about is audio based. How do you fix the problem? The problem of Christmas songs.
Ooh.
Because look, it's that time of year, you got to get stuck into the kind of things you enjoy with Christmas songs. I have to be honest, as much as it's not cool to like Mariah Carey, I think Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas is certainly the best song she ever did. It might be the best Christmas song ever.
Okay.
Controversial, I know. So I was shocked to find out that she's only just recently achieved a number one. And when I saw that headline, I thought, infection, is it? Drink cranberry juice, love. That'll help. Turns out it wasn't that. It was a number one song with All I Want for Christmas. Now, I didn't realise that song has been out for ages. It never made it to number one.
Wow.
Yeah, back when it was released 26 years ago, she struggled to get a number two, which is not cranberry juice, it's fibre. That's what you want for that. That's the end of the toilet jokes, don't you worry. But that is one of my favourite songs, and it's odd that we've never really talked about it enough and given it enough praise, because normally with Christmas songs, we spend all of our time saying what's problematic about Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Baby It's Cold Outside. Were you aware of the recent that happened in that song?
I saw that there was issues, but I couldn't remember what the song was about.
I've got some of the lyrics here, and fair play, it is somewhat problematic. In the song, depends who's singing it, the Dean Martin version or the Carriers from Catatonia and Tom Jones version. Either way, he's trying to get this woman to stay and she's trying to leave. So it becomes a little bit issues to do with consent. Well, at the start of the song, it's I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. Right? He's switching the subject. She's saying that she wants to leave, he's trying to get her to stay. She says, so what's in this drink? That took a turn. That's not just a harmless little song. That's
Bill Cosby song?
Yeah, it's getting... Do you know what? I will admit, I can feel a reverberation of your voice in the table, even though my speakers are off. I don't know.
Someone did say that the whatchamacallit, his echo has stopped.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, carrying on with the topic. I'm not going to use this as a clip now, am I? She says, I've got to get home. He says, baby, you'd freeze out there. She says, say, lend me a comb. Now, I don't really understand that one. I mean, no means no, yes means yes. Comb, I don't know what she's trying to say. It's misleading. I don't know if she is trying to get ready to leave or defend herself by using something that's sharp. Who knows what's happening in that particular problematic song. And then towards the end, he says, think of my lifelong sorrow if you caught pneumonia and died. Well, that's made it a bit grim. That's got the vibe of like, okay, you can leave, but your coat's staying here. So... that's one song that's problematic. There have been other versions that have been re-recorded to be less creepy. One issue that happened this year was to do with the Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. Do you know that song, Eric?
That was the one I was thinking you were trying to talk about first, yeah.
Yeah. In that, Radio 1 sent some sort of message saying that they'll be doing an edited version that doesn't use a F-based word that is to do with sexuality, which is very much an insult. And people seem to be upset about this, kind of like, oh, it's disgraceful, they're banning Christmas. Right, firstly, it's Radio 1 doing it. They know their audience. I mean, on one level, that radio station is in charge of which version of the song they play. That's just a fact. Radio 2 is still playing the offensive one, so don't worry. If you need to get a little bit of homophobia with your Christmas songs, the biggest radio station in the country is still playing it.
That's what I need. I need that option, Steve.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all about options. And it's all about knowing your audience. Now, Radio 1 will have a demographic that listens to it that don't want to hear that version of the song. So it's not about preventing like middle-aged people who work on talk-based radio getting angry about it. It's more about the target market. And here's another thing. People were upset that the Radio 1 were virtue signalling about playing that version. I mean... if you're accusing a PR department of virtue signalling, you've kind of missed the point of PR. Of course they're putting out a press release about it. They just want to get in the newspapers. So they're a bit upset about that particular F word. However, I've got some of the other lyrics from that song here. It also includes phrases like, you're a bum, you're a punk, you're an old slut on junk, you scumbag, you maggot, prefaces the line that seems to upset people. Happy Christmas, your arse, I pray God it's your last. Which doesn't technically rhyme as well, that bothers me. So there's a lot of offensive language in there, but I'm more surprised that anyone could hear any of it. I don't know if you know the song, but I could barely make out any flipping vowels or consonants when they start singing. I don't want to get in copyright trouble, but we're going to play a little clip of the song, just to show how you can't hear what the hell they're on about. It's Christmas Eve, man. I'll be honest, that wasn't the original version, but for a while you weren't sure. That's the point. I might have just been making noises near a microphone, but it was bloody close to the original. However, the most problematic Christmas song is definitely Santa Baby.
No.
Yeah.
Don't take that away from me.
It's problematic. Firstly, it's just consumerist, isn't it? It's just, I want material goods. That's no way to live. But the version that I know the most is the Kylie Minogue version. Obviously, Eartha Kitt and Madonna did a version. Loads of people have done a version. But the Kylie one is particularly raunchy. She's all kind of like, ooh, like that. And if you're Santa, sat around listening to that, he must be loving it. Sat there with a grin on his face, having good old times, hearing Kylie giving it, ooh, like that. And then he turns across and sees his wife sat there with the right face on her. And it means that poor old Santa Claus, whenever that song's on the radio, this must happen.
Santa baby, put a Santa baby? What does she mean by that?
Oh, it's just a song, dear. Doesn't mean anything.
And how am I supposed to know with you off out gallivanting all hours of the night?
It's only one night a year, and you know that's my job.
And will you be visiting her?
Well, I have to visit everyone on Christmas Eve, so yes.
Oh, sneaking down her chimney. Is she on the nice or the naughty list?
You know that GDPR means I can't give you that information.
Oh, how very convenient. Meanwhile, I'll be sat on the North Pole like a mug.
See how you like getting cold this year?
What?
Nothing, dear.
So, our thoughts with Santa at this time of year.
I would imagine she'll be taking care of herself on that North Pole.
She looks like a handsome woman. I don't know why anyone would. I always like the sketches where I play women, so I'm just doing more of them. Simple as that.
I think you seem you're growing more comfortable with it, which I think is an important thing that we're all glad to see you finally becoming more comfortable with.
I just feel pretty. So yeah, and do you have any favourite Christmas songs?
I like Little Drummer Boy.
Well, that's got to be problematic. Come on, that must get banned.
Ba-ra-ba-bum-bum.
Yep.
That's the one.
Rude.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. I like Santa Baby. I like them all.
Mark says that was Santa Claus and Vera Duckworth method. Oi, what? What are you saying? She was a handsome woman, that one.
Yeah. BBC 2, Radio 2 and BBC 6 music.
Are they playing the
wrong
full version?
That's what Mark seems to be saying, and he is our fact-based audience member. So I would never question. Oh, actually, Utah, I don't know how to say that, has got the best Christmas song, which isn't very popular here, which is Grandma Got Run Over by the Reindeer. Do you know that song?
No.
Grandma got run over by the reindeer coming home
still
from...
don't know it. I feel like that's not educated.
Sing the key lyric there.
Go on.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer coming home from... Oh, forgot.
So you weren't going to sing me a key lyric. You tease.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer coming home from Santa's Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. I can't believe you don't know that song.
All right. Yeah.
It's great.
I can't believe that's...
It's about Grandma getting killed by Santa Claus. It's really... It just makes me think about family.
Does it have a thing at the end that says, have you been involved in an accident and it wasn't your fault?
No, it was before that kind of time.
Oh, it's a shame, isn't it?
But it's not homophobic, so...
That's the bar over which we need to stagger. Lovely.
That is a good song. I can't believe I forgot the lyric. I've been here too long. Bastards have changed me.
Mark says we'll get the Sinclair Spectrum loading screen next. Oh, why have we not got that as a button that I can press that just suddenly makes the edges go boop, beep, boop, 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 forever when we're having tech problems?
You should be able to do that.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to happen. Hello.
We should mention, Steve's put it up there, that if you are enjoying what you're watching, you can send us a drink through Ko-fi. Obviously, all the money gets invested into our technology. And I should check on our goal, shouldn't I? Because we do have a goal now on Ko-fi. Let's see how we're doing there. And I can see that one of the Chris's has already got us a drink for tonight. So thank you very much for that, Chris.
Thank you.
Let's see here. I'm just checking our goal status. 45% of our current goal, which is to get Steve and I new stretch trousers, because although now more people are in tier 3, we know this will end at some point. And because Steve and I have both let ourselves go, neither of us fit into our old pants or trousers. And so we're looking for some elastic, and they don't come cheap these days.
Yeah, I did a gig last night in Leighton Buzzard, and sometimes at a gig people take a picture of you on stage and send you the picture, and they did that, and I was like, oh, I'm getting another picture. That's not a good picture.
It's the wide lens.
From here is fine, but full shot, stay at that.
So if you want to contribute to that, we're at 45% of our goal, which is only 57 pounds. So come on, Christmas.
Yeah, you can do it. Mark says, I have survived Whamageddon so far. There's a lot of Wham-based music around. Chris says, did Kenny G do a Christmas song? Eric, you're our resident Kenny G expert.
Oh, I'm sure he has done. I mean, I don't even want to mention it, because the last time we did Kenny G on the show, the whole clip got taken down by YouTube. He's definitely done some Christmas stuff. But he doesn't sing, so it's all just acoustic.
Jonathan says, yeah, you played on repeat at Millside Radio, I reckon. That's where I did one of my first ever radio things. So I did some Ashfield AM stuff, and then Millside Hospital Radio in St Ashfield, Mansfield, depends which part. I think it's probably over the border in that hospital. That's where I started. That's where I learnt my art that has led me here, instead of having a proper job if I'd have stuck to the chemistry.
You could have had furlough all this time. Mark has kindly found the actual lyric for me, which I got jumbled up with. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking. This sounds like a news report. Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. More at 11.
That's great, but that's if you're trying to do UK-based stuff, like what I now do for a living, sounding a bit like Michael Burke, doing that kind of newsreading voice.
Yep.
But what we've learned on this show is if you want to do American stuff, you just need to go, your dynamics need to be up and down for no good reason in the sentence. Kind of, Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house. That's how your people do it, apparently.
That's how we talk. That's how our people talk. Right. What Britt said here, Granny being killed song reminds me of the classic Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, and Robin Ran Away. Classic. Yeah. And Uncle Billy lost his Willie on the M1 motorway. Well, we didn't say that part in America.
It's because of those glory holes at the Newport Pagnell services, isn't it? What? Anyway. So
no, too much.
You get a bit of it. Spread the link, chuck some money in the pot. It would be appreciated. I think, Eric, we are on to your next problem. What you got for us?
Are we evolving? That is the question, Steve. Is humanity evolving? Obviously, with 2020, it is very difficult to say. I mean, we've been watching people cut up masks because they say the virus is not real, or they say that the pandemic is not real, but the virus is. And usually those people get COVID and die the next day. But still, I mean, would you say right now that humanity is evolving, Steve?
Is it technically evolving if we're going backwards?
No.
I suppose that's still change.
Evolving means going forward, changing. No.
Devolving.
Yeah, we're not devolving. We're evolving. Well, Steve, I got news for you. I got science for you.
Yeah?
Look at this headline. The Science Times. So you know it's true, because I've never heard of that publication until I saw this story.
Never heard of that blog before. Here's
how humans are still evolving, Steve. Science Times says it's true, and we all know everything you see on the internet is real. But you see that headline, you believe in your miracles of science. Then you see things like this from America. Seen that, Steve? Can't unsee that. And no willies in that. I've been accused of putting too many willies in the show before.
Any is too many.
So just to give that video some context, I got that off Twitter, but so you know it's real. But this is what it's about. These are in Washington, D.C., the protests. Those are the Proud Boys, who are a racist supremacist group in America. And they wrote "fuck Antifa" on their asses.
Oh, that makes more sense, because I couldn't see the far bit.
Yeah.
I just thought they were like, fuck my aunt. But
these white supremacist guys have thought it would be clever to wear kilts, no underpants, write fuck Antifa on their bottoms, and then bend over. So I think they're looking to get pegged by anti-fascists, which, to be fair, Proud Boys are fascists, and fucking over fascists is exactly what Antifa's there for. So let's just say they're asking for it, and they're going to get it. Which actually another guy was tweeting this week, was it John Watson? What's his name? Was saying that a man who wears a mask is desperate for a pagan. John didn't put that in the script. So anyway, it's just something I remembered.
But remember who that was now.
So when you see stuff like that, and there's so many examples of how humanity is not evolving, it's difficult. But you know what? I thought, all right, let's look at what the article says, Steve, and we're going to do something we have not done in some time.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? We're going to have a quiz.
Quiz time! Okay. The message boards are open. I'll get it.
Message boards are open. Feel free to join in. True or false quiz here. Steve.
Yeah.
True or false?
False.
This was the things in the article. Human body temperature is decreasing. Like isn't the average human body temperature over time, is it decreasing?
Let's have a think about that, because that, if it were false, you'd have to have come up with that, and no
These are all
offense.
things that were in the article that I'm saying are true or false, or could be in the article, could have made them up.
Yeah.
Related to things in the article, but taking a tangent off of those to fool you. Or it could be reversing the statement. It could be it's increasing, and I've just said, is it decreasing? So I flipped it.
Yeah. I'm going to say, because I don't think you'd have remembered that bodies have temperature.
I'm clever enough to make up my own clues.
Is
it decreasing?
Is it decreasing?
Yeah.
Because it definitely wouldn't be increasing, because you'd denature your enzymes. We all know that. So I'm going to say false.
True.
Damn, because Mark and Chris were saying false in the message board as well.
It is dropped by 0.7 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, so not much, really. Not really worth measuring.
I'm using the real degrees, not your imaginary Celsius that isn't based on any rational measurement whatsoever. Because it's going down from 9.8 in Fahrenheit. 98.6 is 37 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what 0.7 degrees is in Celsius, but because no one knows, there's no way to tell.
Do you think that might possibly just be because more temperature measurements are being made because of the pandemic, and what no one seems to have remembered is that people are just measuring your forehead, and that is the stupidest measurement. Well, when I was up in Scotland with the other half, we went for a crazy ass walk in the freezing temperatures, went into a pub and they said, can we scan your face? And I scored like a 14. So not in Fahrenheit, but just goes to show, yeah, those measurements are bullshit.
Yeah, well, I know it's not true for me because I am hot.
Okay.
True or false, Steve? Chris has said poor start. That's right. If you guys lose the quiz, you have to give more money. Humans are less lactose intolerant than they used to be.
Yes. We were originally, actually, I think I know this one. No, doing University Challenge. Alan, Birmingham University. Yes, because we all used to be lactose intolerant. As soon as you become an adult, you don't need the enzymes to break down the lactase anymore. But when we became farming people, the only people who wouldn't have starved through the winter would be those who could have had the milk. So that's how we became natural selection. Yes. True.
It's false.
Bullshit.
Because everybody's drinking nut milk now. And that's just killing everybody off.
It's not a milk.
Of the nut allergies.
If you're not milking something, it's not a milk.
Yeah, you can't count on me actually answering these questions as if it's a real test, guys. So you're going to lose no matter what. I'm sure there's going to be outrage.
That's why cats shouldn't be having milk. Like most animals and most people, and no one needs to be drinking milk into adulthood unless you specifically select for it, as we did in the way that we farmed animals.
Yeah, but some people like a little milk. It's a bit of a fetish. Bones. You're
from
not
Star
even gonna
Trek.
acknowledge that. Bones have gotten frailer. The human bone. Is it stronger? Remember, we're drinking all that milk because we're lactose tolerant now. Are bones more or less frail?
Is there more calcium around? There's certainly more hormones around. Okay, I'm going to go yes, they're less frail. No, hang on. Yes, they are more frail.
True.
Nice.
See how I did the dramatic pause there? I think it's
We just thought you were buffering.
Echo. Yes. So in despite of all the milk, I think it's because of the nuts. It's because people are actually drinking the nut milk. They're not getting the calcium.
Yeah.
Screwing it all up. So, Steve, final question. The only ways we have evolved are that we are cooler, more lactose intolerant, and we have frailer bones.
They're the only ways. No.
Only way that humanity has evolved in the last 1,000 years.
Surely that's got to be false, because as you say, like, natural selection's going on all the time. People are going on anti-mask protests, standing close to each other. That's going to take them out of the gene pool at some stage. So that's got to be one of them. The other ways, we must be evolving in other ways. So no, we're evolving in more than just the ones you've listed.
That's it, Steve. And everything else we're devolving. All the other things you described are as how humanity is going down. The only improvements to the human race in the last 100 or so years is that we're cooler, more lactose tolerant, and have frailer bones.
I mean, it's harsh. Brit says less because of getting vitamin D. That's going to be for the bone one. Mark said false, and Chris says nut milk. So that's, if the question is true or false and your answer is nut milk, then I think we've not done well in this quiz.
Yep. I think we've proven the Science Times is wrong.
Yeah. Damn it. Well, thank you for your messages on this.
So
Chris says
guys,
more
you're
quizzes
all
needed. I'm not sure.
More pauses needed.
No more quizzes needed.
No more.
I'm not sure
we
after
were
that.
enjoying the quizzes. We had a run of quizzes and then we forgot.
Yeah.
Because the quizzes kind of come along when I have less time to write jokes.
How have we not done one every week then?
Oh dear.
Brit says the speed the developed world took on the concept of Zoom tidy living could be considered evolutionary development. Zoom tidy living. If you can't see it on camera, you don't need to tidy it up.
Yep, you should see the shit behind this camera. Yep. So, Steve's got the Ko-fi link up there. So if you're enjoying yourselves, I don't know if we need any more. Chris is suggesting Aldi lemonade all around. There we go, freshly squeezed.
I bet he's got enough when he's up in Nottingham, getting the whole batch load. I'll bring the truck round. Oof.
Woof. Is that American lemonade or British lemonade? Which is basically 7-Up.
What? Do you have a different lemonade? Oh, good God. Why can't you just behave?
We have actual lemonade, and then we have 7-Up or Sprite. We don't call 7-Up or Sprite lemonade because we have lemonade, which is made out of lemons.
We don't call Sprite lemonade either, do we? It's not a brand of lemonade, it's Sprite.
No, but if you are getting Coke or lemonade...
They don't give you Sprite.
It is Sprite. That's what lemonade is. It's basically Sprite or 7-Up.
No, but if you... No.
Lemonade's not a brand.
No, exactly. That's my point. And Sprite isn't a branded lemonade. Whites, that's a branded lemonade. Whites lemonade.
Sprite is basically
I'm
lemonade.
a secret lemonade drinker. Whites. Whites.
Taste test.
That's a song.
Secret taste test. You're not going to know the difference between lemonade and Sprite.
Definitely would, because it's more of a. There's meant to be a limey flavour in one of them. It's Sprite that's meant to have a whiff of the lime as well.
It's the same thing.
Okay. Well, looks like we've got a feature to do on the next show.
Blind taste tests. You must repent to do it, says someone whose name I don't know. That's not an English. I don't know how you say that.
There's a message before it says, yes, it's 2020, men wear lacy bras. If you're talking about the sketch that I did earlier, don't want to give too much away, but it was CGI. I didn't actually dress up as that woman.
Jonathan's asked a good question. What does Mountain Dew? It's shit. It's nasty.
Okay. If you are wanting to be able to fund our repentance away from wearing bras, hint, put some money in the Ko-fi. That's one way of doing it. Come on to talk about the sketch. Have you? Good. What about the fact that we might every so often dress a little non-gendered, put some money in the pot, only way to stop us doing it. Kofi.com/comic solving problems. Right.
There we go.
One more story to do, one more problem to solve.
Yes, Steve. What is it?
How do you solve the problem, the threat, the danger of Tom Cruise? Because he could be anywhere. He can hide. He could be under this table. And don't worry, that won't be the only joke about him being short through the next couple of minutes. So he got in trouble because he's filming in the UK. He spotted people being less than 2 meters apart, hanging around a computer. And he lost his shizzle. This man's got a short fuse. Well, he's got a short everything. And there's a recording of him ranting. Honestly, he is like a toddler. And I don't mean throwing a tantrum. I just mean short, little hands, little feet, a lot of shouting. So it turns out he saw people gathering around a computer, not being appropriately socially distant. And was he angry? He was a little short with them. There's another 2 to go, I think, in terms of height jokes, don't worry. But we've got clips. We put together the clips of him shouting. So let's go through some of them. The first one was this. Let me press it this way.
We are the gold standard. You're back here in Hollywood making movies right now because of us.
And that was my favourite one. It was right at the start of the recording, but you could so tell he was ranting right into a double-ply mask. It was like, can't hear a word he's saying. But it does become slightly clearer, and he starts to swear. So there was some bleeping involved. This is my favourite bit of bleeping that I heard.
I'm on the phone with every studio at night. We are creating thousands of jobs,
They bleeped out mother. That's what I don't get about that one. You beep, beep. What's wrong with saying mother? I don't know what's going on
I think
with
it gives it away, because what else would you say? Mother plucker?
What else was he saying? I'm on the phone every night with every beep producer. I mean, what else is If that was felching, I did not see that coming. Well done. I would not have got that in a quiz. Then he was ranting about this.
I don't ever want to see it again. Ever.
Well, if you want to do something and make sure that Tom Cruise doesn't see it, just do it behind a moderately tall wall. Maybe there's one more.
It's a low blow.
It's exactly, but it's face height for him. But and then he said this.
Anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too. And you too. And you.
He's like a reverse Oprah. Instead of like, you get a car, he's just firing people. You're fired, and you're fired, and you're fired. And then he's really, really angry about it because they're filming like Mission Impossible 7. They're doing it over here, and you've got to stick to the rules. And he's very much focused. He's goal driven. And he said this.
We are not shutting this movie down.
It's not impossible. My favourite one. This is right at the end, and I'm skipping over the serious point because it took too long to get the thing across in the clips. But a lot of that behaviour was actually abusive behaviour. His anger leads first. He punishes people around him with his anger, and then as he starts to calm down, he starts to say things like "I care for you," but then does that thing of linking his anger to someone else's actions. I care for you, but if you can't stick to my logic, I will not put up with it. Like basically an abusive spouse in this. But it's because he's filming over here, they're also having to measure things out in meters, he said.
You see that stick? How many meters is that?
They put a 2-meter stick so that people can measure it, which actually you don't need. You just need to lie Tom Cruise down twice. That's the last one I'm doing in terms of high jokes. So, but actually, as much as I border on the abusive and I don't like the way he did it, but I agree with the sentiment. If you're at work, just stick to the rules. Don't be lax about social distancing because that's exactly where the problems are. It's people thinking, I'm entitled to a hug. No, you're bloody not. Stop hugging. Stop shaking hands. I think this is an extrovert spread disease anyway. So if we all just calm down and back off, more people would be alive. And I think, even though it's aggressive, his level of swearing and anger really could help. And that's why the government have now changed their policy to this one. Hands... hang on, and there it is. All the bleeps all the time. So I had to sit around
Well
doing.
done.
Thank you. Sit around doing pissing Photoshop all day. So there you go. We've solved the problem of Tom Cruise.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people said, "Oh, I love that. Tom Cruise is great," but at the same time, other people pointed out that he is a extreme Scientologist, and that they are a cult, and alleged cult. I get sued, or not a cult, but they're nice people. They're very litigious. I love Scientology, and I
Did you
joined.
know? I bought the Dianetics book, the L. Ron Hubbard's book.
They just give it away.
But not. Yeah, come on. And then you're on the database.
Yeah.
But I bought a copy because I was really interested, but I never got around to reading it because when I bought it, I was living in Hertfordshire and was on the tube a lot in and around London. That was my main reading time. And I didn't want anyone to see me reading the book.
Yeah. But
I
I mean,
thought I could put a false cover on it, but that's worse, isn't it? That you're there holding a false cover on it and the Scientology book drops out. Oh, God.
but I read his science fiction, and that was actually quite. That's not the Dianetics thing. That was it.
No. Yeah. But
that's a different thing.
I'm not dissing. Hey, everyone's a better writer than me.
Everything's, we all can't rise to the same standard that Tom Cruise does. Because I'm taller than he is.
Yeah.
See, we can all do it, Steve. We can all do it. It's just been, let's dedicate the show. But you're right. It was bullying. He was wrong. I'd love to be in one of his movies. So.
Yeah. But no one should say well done, Tom, for that, because although the sentiment is right, we should never reward aggressive behaviour. This is the Priti Patel kind of like, oh, but she needed to get results done. No,
Yeah.
Let's just have as a given, if you are the person shouting in a room, you are at the very least also part of the problem.
And how tall is she?
Probably taller than Tom Cruise.
Probably. Right. We are well over time. Chris has asked, do Scientologists believe in the virus too? No. Tom Cruise believes in money. And that's what he's worried about.
They do believe in having regular vitamins, so they wouldn't have a problem with not having their bones being as strong. However, isn't there also a rule that when the women in Scientology give birth, they're not allowed pain relief and can't make any sound? Which... You know, if ever you want to try and spot an idea that a bloke came up with, that's one of them.
Sign me up.
Robert says, shouting isn't helping nobody. You double negative does. Tom Cruise will look good in a bra. For some reason, there's a lot of bra-related conversations happening.
Have we lost... Yep. Oh, no, that's Utah. Tom Cruise maybe could invite Trump down to East Grinstead. Oh, Jesus. Is that where the new golf course is going to be?
That's where all the that's the epicenter of Scientology.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I've driven by there. They're armed guards. It's creepy. But they're
And also
lovely people.
Also in Scientology, in East Grinstead, their church, right at the door when you walk in, and the graveyard has the last witches in the UK to be burned. So it really is a hot spot for great times to do with beliefs.
It is. There's a lot of ley lines through East Grinstead. There's a lot of spirituality there, Steve.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Fact and science.
Oh, ley line facts. Nice. Chris says, my Shih Tzu is taller than Tom Cruise. When it stands on its back legs or when it's just walking normally? Who knows? Yeah. Are we done and dusted? We sorted for another
I think
one?
so. Yeah. So obviously, if you can buy us a drink, we very much appreciate it. Any donation is fine, up as long as the minimum is £100. But whatever you want to put in there,
cheaper than
is great.
Scientology.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, if you can't have money in, I mean, these are hard times that we've all been through. If you can just tell people about the show, you can share the links to the show, you can watch all the prior episodes. We put out clips all the time of little bits and bobs. You can follow us on social media. Just spread the word, much like Scientology, and just tell people about it. We're going to be back on Tuesday with another live show, and then we've got some specials in the works for over the Christmas period, doing some stuff we haven't done before, and then we're going to be back in the new year.
Yeah. Oh, and also I should say Monday is the day when my paper book is out. Which way do I lean? If I lean that way, where are all the old books gone? Oh, they're behind the camera. So there's the old books up there for the last 2 years. The last 2 years I've released a book, like a compilation of all the newspaper columns that I write. And stupidly, 2 years ago, I came up with like a theme for the titles. So they're called Lasted Another Year and Lasted Yet Another Year. And I tempt fate because stupidly, that was 2018 and 19. And then actually, it was a bit touch and go whether I was going to last this year. So I shouldn't have done that. This book's going to be called Lasted Another Year Despite a Pandemic, because all the newspaper stories and articles I wrote, they became very COVID heavy. So for the COVID special book, it will be out on Monday on Amazon. And for every book you buy, don't worry, at least 80% of the money goes to Jeff Bezos.
There you go. And he needs it.
Helping a fellow bald man.
He's not a trillionaire yet, and he needs to be.
It's be available in paperback, or ebook will be out on Monday and paperback later. And yeah, so if you want to see basically, I've had it. My other half has been reading through, trying to proofread it because there's loads of typos, and she said it's funny, but it is like watching society crumble because you get to see it go from the January chapter doesn't mention it at all, other than like there's a thing that sounds like a beer, and then it just slowly breaks society and all of us. So it's an interesting read, apparently.
And if you want to see what I've written, I've got this piece of paper here with a few notes to myself.
Oh, nice.
So I'll publish that as well.
Available on eBay. You might as well. You get more money out of it than I would for selling each book. I think I get 3p, and he gets the rest.
There we go. Well, that's it. I think we've reached the end of an episode. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys back on Tuesday, and have a good weekend.
Yeah. Till then, bye.